All right, let's get started. Okay, cool. Just before we get into today's back test, just going over today's trade that I was looking at. So let's do this. So I didn't take anything, but I was watching it live, and then kind of like trade manage it just as I would if I was in that trade. So let's just do cool. So this is where we are. Yeah. So this is that leg that we're currently trading into. This is that distro that obviously is holding that leg, and then I guess somewhere in there is the slingshot that caused the break. So the slingshot has now been traded through, and we can see the order flow started for the retracement. Okay, and then today we've opened up somewhere in here. So let's go into that. So there was actually a couple of opportunity. So let's do that. Do this. So my thinking process was to get into a buy to number one, take this high, and then obviously make the bullish order flow, but then also to get into a buy for a hedging opportunity to come into here to look for a sell to either go and make a new low. Okay. And then obviously if that was to be broken, then obviously we're in from that buy here. So let's see what had happened. Right, so obviously today being Monday, which is why I didn't take anything, but obviously this is Asian. We swept it, swept the highs, not the lows, during London, Frankfurt going into London, and then this was the start of obviously the New York session. We obviously had to wait for 2:30, which was okay. So there's 2 o'clock. We're in the next, yeah. So that was the market open 2:30 here, and obviously we can see that liquidity sweep here, right? Now, obviously, the only thing I was waiting for is for us to make this new high, and then we could come and play out of that. We didn't quite get that. What we got instead was the straight mitigation of it. So, if you did get into it with maybe a reduced risk, that would be, if you do just that, there you go, we can see price traded about 50% of it. And then from there, it actually came lower. Let's see now. Why does it? Oh, comes into the 80 as well, below the 80. Again, nothing for me until we make this new high here. That's where I would go and I would reduce risk. And there you go. So this will be reduced risk, and then when we make a new high, I'll go to break even. Okay. And then now for this, so there was a bit of divergence when we look at it later. So US 100 Nasdaq was the only one that maintained that high, whereas US 30 was the first to break that low, and then SPX followed shortly. So because of that, and because we've got an accumulation here that did go and make a new high, I was actually looking somewhere in here. And even if you was to do this loss unmitigated part, I was looking at that 80% here. Okay. And then obviously price coming down, coming to the 50. There you go, we're coming to that 80. Now, when we came into that 80 today, So obviously this would have activated that buy. So I'm looking to reduce risk here. Hey man, you good? We're just doing what's it called? I just wanted to go over today's price action on Nasdaq. There was something that I would have taken. Obviously it's Monday, so I didn't take anything, but I was watching it and I was trade managing it as if I would take it. So this was today's price action that we're just looking. Yeah, and then I'll move on. What? Yeah, did you manage to, I don't know, get into something or? Whatever. Okay, cool. I know a couple of the guys, so I would look. I know a couple of the guys got into both A buy and SL, and we'll go over that. So yeah, so my thinking process was, okay, I must be pressing something because it keeps doing that. Hold on. Right. Okay. Yeah, so my thinking process was to obviously break that order flow high here, okay, to go and make a new high, and then also to come into that extreme that I would very much like to get into a sell. So today, when today opened, we accumulated in a way by taking liquidity here. We came back straight away without breaking that high. We came back and we mitigated, come back to the 50 and the 80. And then so I started looking at it when I got this confirmation of making this new high here. That's when I started looking at it. So there you go. We came back into it. I need to go back to about here. So had it been a different day, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I would have had a limit here. So the way I was looking at it was, you know, as I said, I was just looking at it from a perspective of what would I do. So this is what I was watching then. So there's where the limit would have been on that 80% here, and then stop loss here, not this low, because for me this is obviously mitigated, right? So the thing that's not mitigated is this, and that's 80% of that.
Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, man. What's up?
Hey, man. How you been? Everything good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Glad to be back on the charts. What about
yeah,
you?
Man. Yeah, same here, man. Same here. I know you were gone for a bit, man. Good to have you back, dude.
3 to 4 months.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
Time is flying, man. I didn't even notice that.
Oh, for real. I've been doing a lot of events, man. Doing obviously you're over in the US, so you won't know, but we're big with horse riding here. We're big with the Formula One events. So I've been doing
Nice,
that.
man. Yeah, I like Formula One.
Oh, you do? Yeah. So we've been doing that, and then just pretty much everything from the start of the like setting up, running the live days, and then obviously breaking down. So I just feel like I've been boring because I've been going from like cities to cities.
Yeah. I mean,
But yeah, man, what's
what
up?
can you do? I mean, that's good. I just wanted to elaborate on this. So, I mean, for me, this was you got a type 1 here, right?
Here?
I mean, yeah, you could look at it like that, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this,
for
and
sure.
then this is your spring. So this would have been your entry, and then when it comes back, this is so this was a test entry, and then this is your LPS right here.
Yeah.
So I saw it too, and I was also looking for the sell, because I was just looking at what the other three were doing.
Yeah.
I know that we never take this low on Nasdaq.
Yeah, and then we did it.
Yeah, and I think U30 is selling off at this time.
Yeah.
So when this comes back, actually, and it sucks, man, because that thing just ended up selling off. It gives a type 2. Someone here gives a type 2, but I was waiting for the U-type because I didn't want to take a type 2.
For sure. And also I was also watching it, but the thing for me is, yeah, you're right. So I was waiting for that U-turn as well. to do something like this, where we
Like
get
had
this
it
break.
taken that low, I would have probably had a limit on the top one.
Exactly. So that was my option. So that was my plan of attack one. My other plan of attack was if we went ahead and we where's my thing? Yeah, there you go. Make this low. Then
Yeah.
clearly this was obviously screaming at me. I would have had maybe the 50 or the 80% split
Mhm.
risk to obviously go down lower. But yeah, it never did. And then the fact that we've accumulated so well here also gave me
Yeah.
reason not to take this distribution, because we could have easily been something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. And I mean, it was just a type 2, man. I was waiting for a manipulation just to get a UTAD. Then I would have probably
Yeah,
put some risk on it, but not a type 2, not out of
yeah,
this price action. Like for me, there was not a lot of weakness.
yeah, for sure. And then so now let's look at obviously what we did. And then also let me bring this up because I took a couple of screenshots. Yeah. Okay, so I was watching it from here, obviously. So this was obviously on the 5 seconds.
Mhm.
This so when we punched in this high here after taking obviously that order flow leg,
Yeah.
here I would have gone to reduce risk, which in this case would have been break even because that's that 80%. And then obviously looking at this would have been my next buying opportunity, you know, somewhere in here. Ideally, I
Yeah.
would have liked, again, had this been like a real life trading session for me, I would have put maybe some risk, because I've gone reduced risk here. I would have put something in that 50, maybe on that 80 as well. And then what happened was it came into it, and then it just kind of went off. Um,
Yeah.
and this was the trade management. Obviously, we'll look at it here. So when we made that high, reduced risk, this was that other entry that he came into, but didn't quite come deep into it. And then I'm looking to go to make a break even. Sorry, this would be pay risk opportunity here.
Mhm.
And then there we go. So we paid risk. Um, and then it does come back slightly to give you some sort of entry between that. But I wasn't looking to, you know, get into it. The only other thing I wanted to do now was just go and make that high. And then here I had an alert that would say take partials. So that would be my partial taking opportunity.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we come down slightly deeper. So my break even here would have got hit, and then we accumulate in a very ugly way, and then make a new bullish order flow break. And then what we do is we trade back up into that distro, something like that, and then we turn around,
Right.
which would be quite frustrating if that was a live trading day, because obviously at this point your emotions would be all over the place. And you know, do pay attention that we are on the 1 minute, um, and this has taken its time.
Yeah. I mean,
So
this is right here where you have that type 2 on the top at the top.
yeah, for sure, I
Yeah.
see that. Yeah. So yeah, I know a couple of the guys. Obviously, this been that. I think they must have seen that the other two broke that low, so they were anticipating for this to do the same. But again, the way that I
Yeah.
was looking at it was this was an accumulation. Number one, number two, did the accumulation actually do something? Yes, it made the move.
Mhm.
So I had, you know, no reason not to take this buy from here. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
it is
agree
what
with
it
you,
is.
man. I mean, I was watching it. It was a little annoying, but
Yeah, I
it's
mean
okay. Like
we got a good
just,
price action coming from it. Um,
hey, I'm glad I was looking at it and I saw it and I was able to do something with it, but it just never confirmed for me. So,
yeah, I agree.
and
I
like
agree.
to
And
be
also,
honest
it's a
with you,
Monday as
like
well, man.
yeah, it's a Monday, and also the fact that we never take the low. Why would I throw a limit at it? You know, we
Yeah,
come so close to taking that low.
yeah,
Like it maybe
um,
works out today, but like plenty of
yeah,
times
yeah,
you'll just get your stop loss racked.
for sure. I agree. Now my other thing I'm watching is this area, but I don't like how obviously fast this is coming. I would like it to slow down during Asia, and then maybe tomorrow we get that Frankfurt sweep, and then something like
Yeah.
that to see if we do get that boost that we very much want. if it wants to come into that order flow retracement back up into the distro that we are looking at. But yeah, man, but that's that. Anything on that before we move on to the backtest?
No, man, I agree with you. Same,
Yeah,
had the same
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Cool. Let's do this. Leave. Let's come back here. Okay, cool. So the one thing that I was looking at was CADCHF. I'm not sure if any of us have seen CADCHF recently, but again, just catching up on the market price action, given the fact that I've been away for so long. So this was a really good back test that I've seen for myself, and also the fact that it has given a lot of hedging opportunity, number one, and also a lot of trade management opportunity, which all in all would help us become better trader. So I'm not gonna worry so much about that. So looking at this, let's do a quick top down. This is our higher time frame break of structure. We know this is what's holding our higher time frame. So let's put that into perspective. There's our higher time frame structure. So we know then this distro here, from I want to say from here to here, is our extreme. Bearish extreme.
Did you see the price action from Friday or Thursday? London session. Yeah.
I'll have a look.
Yeah, it was pretty good, man. I mean, I wasn't there because I had to sleep during London session.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Whoever, I think Jay caught it. Yeah.
Cool. So here we've got some ugly accumulation. We've got a bunch of reaccumulation, and then we've got start of a distro here inside our slingshot. Distribution drawn itself out into a reaccumulation once we made this high. So this overall is a reaccumulation, and then
Hey Jake, what's up, Jake?
Hey man, you good? Yeah, man. This heat is crazy over here, man.
Is it hot over there?
It's very hot. It's the highest that UK has seen, I think.
No way.
Yeah, something like 38 to 39 today, and tomorrow will be 38. So yeah, for real.
Gotta go fishing, man. Gotta go swim in the lake. Do something.
Okay, cool. So for me, this is what's holding our. Sorry, this is what's holding our lower time frame leg. Okay. No, so. Cool. Now in here, let's just draw this out. Okay, so once we went ahead and we punched this, draw it out. Okay. So this is our break here. Bullish lower time frame. Okay. Now let me just remove all of this. My previous backtest. Okay, there you go. Much cleaner now. Right. And let's go back to this. Okay, so within our leg, our lower time frame leg is this. So this to that. So we're bearish high time frame, we're bullish intraday, and we're bullish lower time frame.
Yep.
I don't get what okay. Now within this, obviously we can see this was the extreme. We can see that this was mitigated already. And then here we can just see a bunch of reaccumulation, and then obviously so forth. But for me, this is the reaccumulation that matters. This is the reaccumulation that matters, this being that SC. I didn't get to see it, bro, because I think I was obviously away, but I'm doing the backtest now. Maybe if you've got the links, you can drop it at the end and I'll definitely compare it. Close to, yeah. Always leave a runner. And I'm not even quoting Mike on this. Cool. So this is that reaccumulation, right? So obviously down here is my extreme. This is my slingshot. Bullish slingshot. Lower time frame. Now, obviously, we know intraday and we know what's it called? Intraday and lower time frame would have to be bearish for us to trade back up into higher time frame extreme. He would have done, but I've actually made a mistake. I forgot to move my TP. Do you not do the PSC? You should definitely do the PSC, bro. It just closes you say it before you even place the trade, and it's so handy. Cool. So for me, this would be a good hedging opportunity. Okay, I'm gonna try get into a distro inside here, right? Because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if option one is we come into that slingshot or we come into the extreme and then we go up, or we do something like that. We come into the extreme and then we actually break lower time frame and then we break intraday to go and make a new low high time frame low. Simply because obviously we don't know the market, right? But we can always protect ourselves into that hedge and then into that buy. So my plan of attack at this precise point is to look for a distribution here and then look for an accumulation here. Okay, so have a bunch of alerts that would say, price into distro or look for a sell, whatever. So let's go down and let's see if we do get something. Right, so let's play out. Okay, so price is in right, so we can see that's the yellow snow. So I'm not really looking to do anything unless we get, and I'm pretty sure this is obviously market open. I'll double check that. I'm looking for something, like the UTAD or the UT, something like that to happen where we take out the Asian highs. Other than that, I'm not really looking to get into it. And yeah, so that's 10 o'clock my time. So that's the changeover. And then now we've jumped into 8 o'clock. So this is London price action. Let's see if we get something. So we set the low. We still got the highs that's intact. And at the same time, we have broken order flow. Okay, we broken order flow. If we get if we can get into something, then that'll be a good opportunity. Okay. So we can see price came into that 50. Just so that to that is about 45 pips. Even to that is about 26. So that's definitely not worth it for me. At the same time, we can see a distribution in here with some IPA with the UTAD still left unmitigated, and that caused a new low. So if you get something that to come back, we can get into an opportunity to go down lower with it again as the hedging. Do we come back? So we're now also in Thursday, which is obviously the prime trading day for a lot of us. Unfortunately, that just added more selling pressure. Yeah, more selling pressure. So now my obviously plan of attack is to see how we react here. Maybe the hedge has already happened. Over here, we can see a type 5 head and shoulders. So maybe the hedge has already happened and maybe that was the opportunity with 30 pip stop loss, for example. So now let's look at how we accumulate here. If we do accumulate, or do we just run it down and go to the extreme? Okay, so we quite come quite close. And again, we break another reaccumulation point. So we are taking out demand, and then now seems like we have started the retracement. Okay, so what I'll be looking at then is, I'm still looking at this whole area because the 80% is not mitigated. So we look at that. And then what I'll do is I'll look for a distro opportunity inside this micro distribution somewhere in here once when we do come.
You would have a limit at the 80?
No, simply
No.
because there's Asian here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all schematic based.
All schematic base. And then if anything, I mean, I know this obviously, see, look, if this price action here was at the top, right, I would definitely have a limit there. But because it's below, and because I know that Asian low is obviously liquidity, sorry, that Asian high is still intact and it's liquidity. Even if I do set a limit, I can maybe just get that, you know. So yeah, I wouldn't risk it. And also remember, we are pro trending ×2, so we're bullish ×2. So yeah, this is definitely not in favor of it. But I will look for a distro here. Distro, and I will look for a redistro opportunity to go down lower. Thinking that this distro would aid us to come lower into our slingshot or into our extreme. That's the plan of attack. So let's see. I'm not trying to, you know, try get into a buy on this order flow here, because again, it is all order flow. It's pretty much order flow. Okay. So we're coming up into it quite nicely. Again, I've got that line here to say this is the 80% of that push up that got us into that hedge that caused the fall. So let's look at how, you know, how we react once we get into it. So I do like the compression of price. I do like this Asian sweep here. Okay, and I do like the fact that we have tapped into this 80, we're inside the session. Let's go inside and let's see. There is a little something, isn't there? And we do have the break as well. Okay, so if you get into something like that, here would be a good opportunity. Again, I would also like this to be 1 o'clock. So let it come down more, do that. That'll be good. Okay, so we come up, or we come up into it. No, not quite the 80%. The 50% would have been hit. And if you was to do that, split the risk and do that. And again, we are going to take this to new low. The hedge would have three. The hedge would have three targets. Well, one being this low, one being about 50% of that slingshot, and then let the rest run into the extreme if it wants to run into the extreme. Because again, we simply do not know. Now let's look at obviously this. Okay. Right, so okay, in here that 50 would have activated again. Just a couple of minutes, yeah, about 20 minutes, no, an hour and 20 minutes before New York. And you would even got opportunity to go ahead and reduce risk. And then this is also a great opportunity maybe to get into another entry with that reduced risk. I don't know if I would have taken that. simply because I am still going to wait for that New York session. Right, I don't really trade London, but I would wait for that New York session, or we go ahead and we break that. Then I would look for something like that. Simply because I don't want New York to take me out. So, but let's see. Okay, and then yeah. So New York taps into that 80, but then eventually that would hit you out. That's gone. Okay. Now we've got a new high, haven't we? We've got this high here. So this is what I needed to break, and we did. Okay, now I'll be looking for something like that to come down lower. Okay. At the same time, I think we are printing a slightly, I want to say maybe this is like a type 5 as well. Just the way that this is. Let's see, I can't assume anything. There we go. So there's that, also that low taken. So that reaccumulation has been gone. There's that low here. So I would be looking for something like there to there. Okay. Let's see what that would be, from 50 to 80. Let's make that 8. And then from that 80 to that New York is 4. So that is something I would throw a little bit of risk at. Again, it's a hedging opportunity, so that would be 0.10 for me, being split 0.5, 0.5 on the 2 orders here. Did we get it? Okay, so 50 tapped in. So off a 50K account, we're putting a 0.01. We're putting a 0.05 order flow. And then, well, then the stop loss hit and your 80 got activated, with that also being hit. Asian. Okay, so that's 2 losses there. 0.05. I think I've done this. Yeah, 0.0550. Okay. So here, let's do boom, boom, boom. We'll do that one in a second. So this is head, sell, stop loss, hit 0.10%, or pretty much $50. Okay. Right, so that's that. But again, nothing. Now what I do need is, I need obviously this to break, to do something like that, to get into another opportunity. So that's Asia. Okay. Put that away. Right. So we've tapped into Asia. We are now Thursday as well. Okay. And then we have got London gone into New York, that pushed in this low here. So we've got a slight redistribution here, which we could play out of. I don't really trust that high, given obviously this is Asia. Okay, but now I actually need to see the weakness coming in, which we are seeing with New York. Now, do we come back? Or do we just drop off? We don't, yeah, it doesn't look like we're coming back. Now it's gone into Friday. Got okay, we're coming. So see how deep we come back. So we come back about 50%, not enough for me to throw anything at. Maybe if we do get into like a schematic. So there's Monday. Nothing, no clean price action. We'll make a new high, new order flow high. Not quite into that 80. Unless, oh, well, clearly not, unless we was looking for something like that, but no, not really. Okay, cool. Now I need this to be broken, which by the looks of what's happening here, we can see that. And then obviously I don't like that this is Asia, but I'll be playing out of that. And obviously this is going to be that redistro. So unfortunately we didn't quite catch anything here. We're minus 0.10 here on that distro. It was right. Obviously we were just, I don't know, whatever happened here as well. And then now we're trying to catch that redistro once we break that low. Okay. Do we break? Yeah, okay, we go ahead and we break it. We break it within a session as well. So now any sort of pullback would be good. And obviously I'm looking from session to this, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and then throw that to that is 9.5. Now, obviously, for us to take that trade, it needs to be worth 10-1. So just to that low is already a 10-1, which is good. And we obviously wanted to go down lower into our slingshot buy. That 50 would have got a limit, but it's in the heart of Asia. Okay, I would like price to trade above that. Come here, maybe we get into a distro and then go down. So this is getting a full 0.10 risk. Yeah. And then let's just say if you was to do this to this as well, do we have any confluence? Okay, so that is in the heart of 80 as well. In terms of retracement, do we have any confluence with my 88.8? Okay, and that's somewhere there as well. So we could maybe reduce that. And still, okay, that reduces it significantly. Put it in between then, somewhere there. Yeah. Okay, and let's see. So price comes right bang into it, whether you had this, whether you had that 80. And again, my stop loss would be here because this is what's holding that new order. Yeah, this is what's holding that new order flow low. This to this is this. Okay, so this is the hedge. We finally got into that hedge sell. Let me take that as a screenshot. Okay, now let's trade manage this, right? So let's input this in our journal. We have got, can I get back to it? 14th of June. I'm gonna have to put it as 14th of July. Unless it gives me, no, it doesn't. So I'm not gonna do that. So this is CADCHF. This was short. And
GK, can I just ask you something quickly?
yeah.
On my journal, when I go to data, it shows me the data from like 2021 and not 2022. If that makes sense.
This?
Yeah, no, that gives me the right dates. But then when I go on to chart data,
Yeah.
If you go down to end of month equity or trade win by loss, it has the month 21, like January 21, February 21.
Oh,
And
then
then
just change it.
yeah, but then if I change it, it doesn't change. I've tried to do that and it doesn't change the the data from my journal, if that makes sense. I'll have to show you on another call.
Yeah,
one
yeah,
time.
yeah. Yeah, we'll go over that. Okay, cool. Let's stop loss was 10.3, make it 10.5. And yeah, calculate. So this was a 0.47 lot. 47 entry price. Stop loss. Take profit would be down to slingshot. Make that a nice full figure. Copy, boom. That's where break profit, exit price. We don't really have that. Okay, so we haven't done anything with that yet. This is a redistribution. And here we have got the 80 and the 88 lining up. This is a New York session. So New York, London crossover. This is counter trend because it's a hedge. Let me put it here. Hedge for the lower time frame slingshot buy. Counter trend. This is 14th of June. This is a Tuesday. Okay, now the important part, time for setup. So when this idea came about when we punched in that low. So we punched in this low somewhere here. And we came back took 7 hours. I wanna just round it up to 8. 8 hours for the setup, duration in trade, we'll put that in a second. And then this is image before, and we'll do that. Okay. Right, cool. Now let's go into the heart of the management of it. So don't really like these little ones. Right. Ideally, I would like this because this is something to break. And let's see how fast. So if it's fast, then I would wait for this to break. If it's slow, because CADCHF can be a bit slow, then I'll just not wait for this and go to reduce risk, which here would be break even in this case. But let's see. Okay, so now because we got this, I want that to break now. Then I'll go to reduce risk, which will be here. We'll make that new low like that. I'll go to break even or pay risk. Let's see. So here, reduce risk. Yeah. So we reduce the risk, and then here. Pay risk. So reduce risk in this case is break even, more or less. And then we went ahead and we paid our risk. So we are currently up. Hedge, so redistro, $50. Okay, and then now anything, maybe price can come back into here where we could maybe look for a micro distro, but now I want this to get taken. Here I would take some partial, 20% would be ideal because I have 5 take profits on my MT5. My first one would be 20%. Do come back, do give a lot of people some opportunity. Then we go into Asia, then London. We'll come back one more time. Nothing for me yet. What happened? Oh, hold on. Did we get? Okay, so this is where our break even would be. This is where obviously price came back very close. And then, okay, stop. There you go. Right. So here I'll take partial. Take partials 20%. We're currently sitting just under 10-1, and we are up 48932 times 20 is 97. Plus 97.86. Okay. Now 50 bucks times 10. So we're down to 40 on this. And again, we're gonna, next one will be here. So London helped us get that break. Let me just do that as well.
Can you show where we are on the bigger picture?
Yeah, so we come back out.
Just want to see where demand is sitting and everything.
So we have reacted from that high time frame extreme.
Okay.
We came back for that distro where we took a loss. We got into that redistro here, and that redistro. This would also be another take partial for me, and then 50%. Sorry, 50% would be another take partial here. So actually, I'll go ahead and I'll take another partial here because we punched in a new low. So we'll take another 20% here.
Okay, makes sense.
Because now the order flow leg is from that to this. Okay, so we could turn around, come back into that redistro or whatever is not mitigated from this. But as I say, I don't really trust that because there's that high, that Asian high, just like how there was the Asian high here. But if we do come around, I'll be playing that redistro rather than that distro. But ideally, given that the price is so close, I would like to get into a buy. Then I'll play that distro here and then just let price compete with itself, with me just being on the sideline. Okay, so I'll taking another 20% off here. That would be where we are. So that's 113.5.53 times 20 is 227. 227.10. And then that's 20%, so we're down to 30 bucks risk on this. And then maybe about 50% of this. So this is that loss unmitigated point. And then this is that whole move. So about 80% is close by. There's no confluence, so I'm gonna go with that one here. And then I will take maybe about another 20% just in between that imbalance that's sitting right here when we come into it. But let's see how price is now acting inside our slingshot. Again, we're now going to be looking for that accumulation because we're now in a demand zone. So Asia, oops, and we're coming into it. So here I would have taken another 20% off. This is at 993.50 times 0.20 is 118. No, sorry, 198. 198.70. and then 20% off down to that. Okay, so we've got $20 risk left in that hedge, and then now we'll be looking for the accumulation to come in. So nothing yet. We're pretty much just watching. So this is what's holding that order flow, unless we go and we make a new low here. So that's my trading range here for that accumulation. That's what I'll be watching. That's where I would have my alerts saying booth or bearish order flow break. Okay, and we're just pretty much ranging. Bear in mind, this is a 1 hour chart. We are now 6 days into it. Okay, so we now got a break, right? Now let's follow our legs. So we got from that to this to that. So yeah, so this is what's holding it, that last point there. Now what we do need is we need this break to happen. Okay. Bullish order flow. Yeah. But if we do get something, I don't mind throwing a little bit of risk in here. Okay. Punching low. Now I'll be moving that to here. And I'll be looking at if we got a little something. Okay, so we break that. The fact that pretty much I think that's the whole leg. If we could get into an accumulation here, I know it's not the fourth drive, could maybe get into something like that, but I like the fact that this is New York. If we can get into something here, I don't mind taking that up. But again, it would have to be clean. Okay. Let's just measure up the whole thing. That to that. See if we come back into that 80% where I'll be looking for an accumulation in here. If we do get it, if not, I will again very much prefer a fourth drive as well. So still with that higher move. And again, it's definitely going to be a limit once we do get that bigger break though. If price does not want to turn around now and just give us that, yeah, I'm definitely throwing a limit in here because now we've got that true booth. So I don't mind either way. I would wait for here as well as here. Speed this up a little bit. So we're in Asia. So London took the high, New York took the low, and nothing yet. We're still in between, obviously, this supply point and this demand point. Okay, we've taken that supply now with New York. Okay, just to speed things up. Okay, oh, whoops. All right, so we've come into it. This is come into the 50. So what would that be? 50 to 80, and then 80. Oh, still a bit of a 20, 15. Do we get? I said 5, 5 to 1. I said the 10 to 1 there. I would wait for that 80 because it gives us that 10 to 1 there. If we get it. And we are in, what's it called? Thursday. Oh, and we finished Thursday. Nothing much. Okay, now so for me, oh, okay. So yeah, I'm this one. I'm looking at this and I'm looking at that. Once we break either, obviously I would like it to break below, so that can activate. But nope, nothing. So we went higher. This just tells me this is in line. This is this would still come back once we break this, or once we go and make a new structure high. Then definitely throwing some sort of risk in there. So it's still good, but just yeah, gotta wait. Okay, so now that's done. Now let's look at our market cycle inside here, right? So we know we've got an accumulation in here. Accumulation, can delete that. And look at this, we've got a nice distro gone into accumulation, and we've made that new high. So this is our reaccumulation. Reaccumulation here. Okay, now I want that reaccumulation to obviously hold. Okay, so let's see. And then I'll be playing from somewhere, so this somewhere out of here. Yeah, maybe somewhere out of there. See if we can find that accumulation as a continuation. Okay, so now our order flow leg is from that to that. To this, to this. Okay. And pay attention. Did we? Okay, we haven't broken that just yet, but I'll be looking for that to be broken. All right. So we come back into it without breaking that. Well, for me, this is still on point because we haven't broken. The moment we break this, then I'm a seller. Right now, order flow is still bullish, so I'm still looking for buys. Let's see what you gave me. So New York comes in. Let's see if there's something in that. Nothing much. Or do you get something like this? Okay, so come into it heart of New York with some sort of type 4 ugly accumulation. All right, now let's see what you do. So I'll be looking for somewhere in here that just that whole thing, and I'll split my risk between that 80 50 to 80, and then that 80 to here. Obviously the 80 being more preferable. So let's say again, I would like to be ranging during Asia, that drop London or New York, and then do something like that. Okay, so that 50 wouldn't have activated because I would have nothing on for Asia, no that 80. This, what time is this? 7 o'clock. Maybe that Frankfurt would. Maybe that Frankfurt would, huh? 7, yeah. Okay, now So we've got new high, reduce risk on this, and then obviously when we make that new high, we'll go to break even. So there's the break even there. Now that we're risk free on this, I wanna look for another opportunity. And again, if we look at this, we've got our accumulation and we've got our reaccumulation. Okay, so I'll be looking for that being the slingshot of order flow. Order flow. And then this the extreme of order flow. Okay, so any sort of pullback into that, we can throw a little bit of risk into this. Okay, now actually let's come back into this and then sort out this. So look at where we are. Okay, so we've accumulated here, pushed in. We haven't really made that high yet. So this for me is all order flow. And this is also going to be a 0.10 risk, 0.10% risk, simply because the leg is still being formed from here. And we could very much make a new high of the schematic and then come back down to come into that 80% and then go. So that's why I'm not risking much. I would, if I do get clapped here, I would for a slightly higher risk, 0.15. But here, just in case this does go down and never turn around, I'm throwing a little bit of risk because, you know, technically we have got the price action that we want. We can see buyers coming in inside our demand zone. So, yeah, so we're throwing a 0.10. So that was, yeah, 0.10. Okay. Right, and we're on break even here, and then we're looking for accumulation, something inside that Frankfurt. There's the start of New York, and price traded right through that, and we've come inside the extreme. While we're coming into it, we could do the whole thing, or just that. I don't think that one's gonna have much of a important, but we could do the whole of that. Okay, so I like the fact that we're lining up with the 88.8. Do we have anything in here? No, not much. Okay, so that's good enough for me to throw a little bit of risk, and I'm gonna go with that same 0.10 because we're now risk free, and target being obviously that new high here. That is a above 10 to 1, so this is good enough for me to throw a little bit of risk, 0.10. Yeah. Okay, so Frankfurt activates. Sorry, New York activates, and now we're looking for places some accumulation, but we're looking for something like that. Where I'll go to reduce risk, break even, pay risk, and then take partials. Okay, didn't quite give that to us, but here, let me just copy that. Way here, I would have gone to reduce risk. And when we make that next low to the next high, oh, what was that? Delete that. Oh, this is ugly. 10 o'clock. So this was a market changeover. Reduce risk, and then whenever that happens here, go to break even. Yeah. So Asia. There's Heart of London, and then let me just copy. Take partials 20%. So okay. So we're taking partials from this one, 20%. 396. Where you are? 0.58 times 0.20 is 79. Where's my box? Oh. If I one 79.31. From here, short guide to okay, and then here same thing. We take off 20%. Start 40, and then here we'll be taking 20%. Which brings us to 82.06. Okay. Pay attention. I didn't pay risk because if we see that high, I might as well just take partials. And then obviously same thing here when we make this new high. Another partial opportunity. Okay. So this is what I want to take. So obviously this is pro trend. I'm not going to take a lot out of that one. I've already taken 20%. I think I'm just going to take another 5 each because obviously I want enough volume to go back, if that makes sense. So I'll just take 5 each on that. Times 0.05 is 21 bucks. So that could be like basically paying the risk, if that makes sense. 0.14, and then so we've got 38 left, and then here 559, 27. So actually we've done it, we flipped it the other way. We've taken partials first, and then we've paid risk. 97. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now, oh wait, we haven't even gone there yet. Alright, cool. Now we have. So basically, yeah, we've taken partial, we've paid the risk there. Right now, let's come back and let's look at where we are. So we have got, this was our previous leg. Now we've broken that, and this is now our leg with this accumulation, reaccumulation, and then reaccumulation here. So we could look for another buying opportunity here, and then obviously that 80 is still intact. So there, at this point, I would have a limit into that 80. There's no reason why I shouldn't have that. Okay, because we've come into the slingshot, we've accumulated the accumulation, created booth. We could very well come back into the extreme of that New York session and then go up much higher, right? So I would have that there waiting. Now let's see what we do. So we're still pretty much in that sign of strength phase. No pullback whatsoever. A slight distribution there, which is good sign. And gets clapped very quickly. Coming in. Put that there. Okay, so this is our slingshot. And then obviously down here is our extreme where we've got a limit waiting. Let's see. Okay, that's where we are now. Okay, so we're still pretty much, we are, what, we've got 20 bucks left on that sell, and we're sitting at a 21 to 1. We've got 2 orders in, not, you know, we had to wait, we had to work hard for it, and we're currently sitting at a 16 to 1 and an 18 to 1. Okay, and this whole thing has taken us a span of from this stroke, because that's where we took our first trade, to here, just over a month and a bit. And let's just tally up. Okay, so total trades we took. So we took 1 loss, 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. 4 trades. Total risk percentage wise in dollar. So 0.10, 0.10, 0.10, 0.10. So 0.30%, because that last one here was risk free, so didn't matter. So that times, so pretty much 150 bucks total R&R. So what was that? It was 21 plus 21 plus 18 plus 18, 57. 57 to 3. Total profit. So we have got 50. So this 50 and that 50 cancel itself out. So we can do 90.10 plus 227, 10 plus 198.70 plus 79.31 plus 82 plus 6 plus 27.97. This gives us a total of 734.04. Total stop loss was 1. Total break even, so we're all on break even, that's 3. Time for setup took us was 40 days. I'm in trade. So this one we're still in, so that's 32 days. Sell 32 days. Buy. We got in here to here, 12 days, so 13 days. 13 days. Confirmation present. So we are high time frame extreme. Hedge. Structure. Bullish. Times 2. Session. I believe the session. So even this one was. Yeah, this one was New York. One of it was Frankfurt, and one of them was New York, wasn't it? Session. Sell. New York. Buy 1. Frankfurt. Buy 2. New York. All the trades we had was above 10 to 1 plus. Okay, and there you have it. So there's the sell hedge into a point of interest where we should be looking for sell. Yeah, we got clapped once, maybe even here if we took anything from that 30%. In a sense of that it wouldn't have worked. But there was that sell here, there was another opportunity here, then there was that buy here in a space of like 40 days. Cool, let's just quickly put this in our journal and then we can be done. Right, then CADCHF long, CADCHF long. And we're, yeah. So this is our entry price. This is the first one. So our stop loss. Our current price is our take profit, let's just say. And again, we're win. This was lower time frame, slingshot accumulation. I'm gonna say 2 because we never got a spring. Yeah, it's definitely 2. Slingshot accumulation 2, slingshot accumulation 2. That one had the 88.8. This one just had the 80%. Buy. This one was Frankfurt. I want to put London. This one was crossover. This one was pro. This was pro. When did this happen? One of them, 6th of July. So this was Wednesday, and then this happened 6th of July. So Wednesday. Time for setup. Mm-hmm. 10. 4. No. 32 days, and then this one was 12 days. Okay, and then last thing was just the lot size. 0.10. 7, 6. 0.67. 0.78. Okay, let's quickly do that one as well. Stop loss. And take profit. Okay, there you go. So that was an 18-1, that was a 16-1. The sell was a 30-1. Yeah. What? Oh, hold on. Let me do. So what did the sell give us just to get the percentage growth? The sell got us. I'm not gonna count that $50 because obviously that was 86 plus 10 plus 70. 5.23.66. And then so that was just over 1% growth in your account. $110 over 3. That was a total of 1.46% growth in about a month, which I know doesn't seem a lot, but again, we are just throwing $50 at this. You could have thrown more or whatever your risk tolerance is. But yeah, I mean, that was what I wanted to go over. When I saw this, I thought it was a great opportunity, especially on a pair like HEDGE and over a summer period as well. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are before I close off. Any questions as well, we can run over real quick. Obviously, if everything made sense or not really, let me know and I can quickly go over.
Thanks, TK. No questions for me. TK.
Nice one. No worries, man. No worries. All right, cool. If that's the case, it's getting real hot here now. You guys enjoy your evening / afternoon. And I'll see you guys on the chart tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
No worries. Bye.